and welcome to A Moment of Peas, the video component of the podcast Two Peas, Same Pod, featuring myself, Eric Weinstein, and my daughter, Tovah Weinstein. We are a father-daughter podcast. I say that we are about nothing and everything, and Tovah says that we are about the generational differences between father and daughter. Father creeping up on middle age or past middle age, and a daughter who is entering adulthood. So for those of you who listen to us on all of the major podcasting sites, thank you for listening. And for those of you who just stumbled into us, thank you for joining us for the first time. So this is my first foray into video. As you can see, it's fairly amateurish. What you're looking at is actually my rickshaw pen bag, or my pen carrying case. One of the things that Tovah gives me a lot of crap about on the podcast is my fountain pen hobby. I make pens, including fountain pens, and I have a collection of fountain pens that are commercially made. And she gives me a lot of crap about that. On this short video today, I'm going to talk to you about pens, specifically fountain pens, just to give you a taste of what it's all about, so you can see that I'm not absolutely insane. I can tell you that I got into fountain pens as a way to slow my handwriting down, to be more conscious of my writing. I tend to write very quickly. As people know from listening, I'm an attorney, and I write like I have only 3 fingers. I hold my pen incorrectly. Incorrectly for some. I do not use a normal tripod style grip, which is the standard grip that we're taught during the Palmer method when I was in elementary school way back in the early 70s. But I have now forced myself to go back to a tripod grip instead of a quadrupod grip or whatever. I use multiple fingers, 4 fingers. And I'm trying to work on my cursive. I'm trying to work on my handwriting. I'm trying to slow down, be more intentional about it. And will people ever marvel at my handwriting? Absolutely not. But will I be able to read my handwriting? Will I be able to read my own handwriting? Well, that was my goal, or that is my goal. Personally, about fountain pens, I think a lot of people are put off by fountain pens, maybe due to a lack of understanding. Certainly kids today have no idea. But I remember my dad writing with his Parker 51 Special, which I still have, and I don't use it. It's in a case at my office, and it's labeled to not be used. But I remember him using it. He used it most of my life. I think he got it back in the 50s or in the 60s, and he still had it when he passed away. A lot of people think they're complicated and hard to use. Well, they're neither, frankly. In my opinion, it's a return to the analog world. You can enjoy the tactile pleasures of writing on a piece of paper as opposed to the tapping of keys. Depending on your taste, fountain pens can be as simple and basic as a pen can be, or as exotic and complicated as you can afford. Fountain pens are a lot like watches in my mind. You can get an inexpensive Casio or a Timex, a mid-tier Seiko, a higher-end Rolex, or some other brand that suits your fancy. You can get automatic, you can get quartz, you can get battery-powered, manual wind. I happen to wear an automatic watch. I have a few not expensive ones, but I like the idea of technology that was developed back in the 17 or 1800s still working today. You don't need to get a pen with a fancy, complicated filling system. You can get a basic fountain pen for $10. You can buy a replacement ink cartridge for less than $4. In fact, for $4, you probably get a package of 6 cartridges or 12 cartridges from some manufacturers. I think that you'll get enjoyment from the writing experience, and you'll also be saving the environment, if you care about that sort of thing, from the continual disposal of empty rollerball or ballpoint pens. So please join me to look at one of my favorite pens currently, and without further ado, I am going to introduce you to the Wahl-Eversharp Skyline. This is the version that is in blue with chrome, as you can tell. I love this pen. I seem to recall my grandfather having one of the early original iterations. This is the current version. Back in the day, maybe in the 30s and 40s of the 1900s, Wahl-Eversharp was a major pen brand in America, and it continued to be such until the advent of the ballpoint in the 50s, at which point it failed to keep up, fell by the wayside, and ultimately disappeared. Like a lot of fountain pen manufacturers, the ballpoint was all of the rage. As luck would have it, a gentleman named Sid Saperstein acquired the intellectual property rights back in 2013 and began manufacturing the pens under the name of the Vintage brand, which was fabulous. Wahl-Eversharp features this Art Deco design, if you are into that thing. The current version is Skyline's original design, but modernized with the new materials, such as the anodized aluminum and stainless steel. Instead of a lever fill, it uses cartridges or a converter. In this case, I think I have, yes, a cartridge. I think this cartridge may have come with the pen. If not, it is a standard international style cartridge that I popped in there. It also accepts the long version. That was the international short, but it is long enough, as you can tell from the barrel, to accept a long cartridge. A lot of pen videos go into deep dives on the specs, the weight, the comparison of size against other brands, and they end with usually a beautiful writing sample by the person doing the video. I am not going to do those comparisons to other fountain pens. I'm not going to do a writing sample because, as I explained, my handwriting looks like chicken scratch. And the feel of the pen is totally subjective. I have read too many blog posts and watched way too many YouTube videos where people recommend certain pens, the Lamy Safari, among others, as a great starter pen, only to be disappointed myself in the uselessness of that particular pen and a few others. The best pen for me may not be the best pen for you. There are just too many subjective personal factors that weigh into that decision, including your own grip style, the firmness or strength of that grip, the nib size, the width of the nib, the quality control from the brand itself, the quality of the materials of the pen. I'm happy to report that I like pens of all shapes and sizes, but your mileage may vary. For now, I just wanted to show you an example of one of the fountain pens I use. This is what I would call a daily driver for me. I carry it with me every day. I have others on my desk. Now that you've seen an example of a fountain pen and how simple it is just to pop that cartridge in, maybe I've pen-abled, some of you. Instead of enabled, it's pen-abled, get it, Maybe some of you will go and eke one up. I also want to show you that the Wahl-Eversharp Skyline comes in some other beautiful versions. I recently purchased this one where I actually had contact with Sid Saperstein himself. This is the red and the gold one. This is the gold plate, obviously not real gold. By the way, folks, this pen is a $65 fountain pen, which in the fountain pen world is probably maybe mid-tier, I would say. It's certainly not cheap. I'm not saying it's cheap. It's also not particularly expensive compared to a lot of other pen brands. A lot of you know those other pen brands such as Mont Blanc and Pelikan, Waterman. This is another one I have. This is the all-black Aviator version, very striking, includes a black nib. These happen to have, I think, the converters in them, not filled right now. Not filled, but let's see what is in here. Yes, so this is what a converter looks like. It pops out. It's really a piston mechanism. What you do is you pop it in like so, just like you would a cartridge. You make sure the piston is all the way down. And then you dip it in ink, and then you turn the piston, which will then suck up the ink. Then you cap it, and you are ready to go. This is the Aviator Skyline. Beautiful pen, very comfortable in the hand. I like a bigger pen, but this pen is beautiful and very comfortable. So I hope you've enjoyed this short dive into fountain pens. I'm putting it back in its plastic sleeve, and then I'm putting it back in the box that it came in. I keep all the boxes of all the pens. So until next time, America, this has been Eric with 2Ps Same Pod. Hopefully in the next video, Tovah will join me, and we're going to continue to add these little short videos just to supplement what we talk about, maybe even to defend myself against the cross-examination and prosecution by my daughter. Anyway, until next time, thank you for joining. Thank you for indulging me in this video. Peace out and peas out.
Two Peas, Same Pod is produced by 1253 Studios, bringing sometimes humorous but always thought-provoking conversations to you through your favorite podcasting sites. Creative Content and Marketing Director, Tovah Weinstein. Executive Producer and Chief Editor, Eric Weinstein. Music by MBB. Find his work on YouTube by searching for MBB Music or at mbbmusic.com. Special thanks for the introduction, outro, and trailer voiceover to Jordan Rich of CBS Boston Radio and Chart Productions, providing audio and voiceover recording and production, as well as podcast production and support. Visit Jordan at chartproductions.com. Funding for Two Peas, Same Pod is provided by the Law Office of Eric Weinstein and listeners like you. Please consider subscribing and supporting this podcast. Until we meet again, this was Two Peas, Same Pod, a 1253 Studios production.